talking about how the UK is sweet, and he don't know about the UK. He think the UK is soft as y'all beans. But today, y'all finna find out. Well, he finna find out how it be getting inside the UK. Specifically in Manchester. Because Manchester is the most dangerous part of the UK, bro. Everybody be talking about London, but London don't got nothing on Manchester, bro.
For real.
Man, you finna see what Manchester got going on. They ain't gonna baptize you. They call it Gunchester. They call it Gunchester for a reason, bro.
Outside look in, Manchester appears as a safe city, with it being located in the northwest of England. However, what a lot of people are unaware of is the ongoing gang war resulting in the crime rate soaring in Manchester, with Manchester even being ranked within the top 3 most dangerous cities in England in a recent study, with Manchester having over 95,000 reported crimes, which is crazy considering the population of Manchester is around...
You see? You hear all these crimes? It's hella crimes and stuff going on inside there because it's like, bro, and they say it's way smaller than London. So if it's smaller than London and they got all this crime going on, I mean, it's worse than London, bro. But ain't nobody talking about Manchester, bro. No one care about Manchester in America.
Why? Because London look better? Or is it
bro, dude, have you ever heard about Manchester?
I think I heard. It sounds like a train
I
station.
think I heard of that in like New York, though.
Yeah. Have you ever heard about Manchester in the UK? Only thing you hear about, what when you think about the UK, what do you even think about?
London.
It ain't nothing else inside the UK but London.
See, I'll be tweaking.
Now I know different things because we watch these videos, but an average person, bro, if you think of the UK, bro, you ain't gonna name nothing but London. Real deal, bro. I ain't gonna bap to you.
Around 500,000. Manchester has also even been labeled the murder capital of the UK. In recent years, the ongoing gang war between 2 gangs in Manchester would begin to be publicized. These 2 gangs being TDR and TCG. This rivalry has proven to be deadly, with people being stabbed, shot, and killed due to their involvement. Before I start the video, I'll be sharing today's paid promo. If you are an underground or up-and-coming artist in the northwest of England, make sure to check out my boys over at Beats and Bars. They offer amazing custom rap, hip-hop, and drill music videos, which include freestyles.
Look, man, I seen pythons wanna try taking a line like Conan, but the ciphers.
I mess for UK Drill Plug, but this promo, bro, you knew you was wrong for doing this, brother. I don't even know why you just trying to get the money. Okay, I understand, because if you really mess with this UK Drill Plug, you diabolical, brother.
Too advanced, I've been dealing, stacking my chips and focusing only the papers folding up. You don't wanna see me step out with gloves, you don't wanna see me gloved up like a goalie, Sibs don't spinning out holy moly.
This one is better. This one better than the other dude, bro.
Real.
This dude, bro, the first dude was just diabolical. This
Dude
one,
sound like Central C a little bit.
you said the first dude sound like Central C?
Yeah.
Let's go back. He sound like Central C for real.
First too advanced, I've been dealing, stacking my chips and focusing only the papers folding.
You said folks sound like Central C?
Yeah.
Nah, that's kind of crazy, bro. I don't think you sound like Central C. I ain't gonna
Sound like
bap
that
to you.
one song, Sprinter.
Don't sound like Sprinter, bro.
Dylan Head. Yeah.
I mean, I guess, brother.
You don't wanna see me step out with gloves, you don't wanna see me gloved up like a goalie, Sibs don't spinning out holy moly, bros gone crazy and them step with a rollie, fuck a timepiece in the piece that's slow.
So if this sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to tap the link in the comments to go to their channel, and maybe you can be the next to blow in the rap scene. TDR is a large street gang based around multiple roads around the M16.
Hey, y'all got Aldi inside the UK?
In the rap scene. TDR is a large street gang.
Bro, they got an Aldi's inside the UK, bro.
Oh, bro. That's their grocery store. How they worldwide with it.
Gang, I didn't even know. I thought Aldi's was just in America with it.
Oh, bro.
Based around multiple roads around the M16 postcode of Manchester. These roads include Platt Lane and Whitmore Road, to name a few. The gang has been around since the mid-1990s, with them originally going by other names. The original gang would form in the mid-1990s. They would be referred to as the Gooch Crips around this.
The Gooch Crips.
Gooch. Do you know what a Gooch is?
I heard what NLE Chopper said about the group.
Yeah, bro. Gooch Crips is pretty diabolical to just say that's y'all name off the back. Like,
Did Gooch mean that in the mid-1990s?
no, I don't think Gooch means that inside the mid-1990s.
So they just like transformed.
I don't know. Gooch probably could have been always that. Because I didn't know what a Gooch was till NLE Chopper said that song.
Yeah.
So I don't know when it really originated.
this time. With them heavily flagging the color blue, it's clear they took inspiration from America. Anyways, the gang during this time was mainly composed of street dealers that would do anything to protect their territory. Their main rivals around this time was with another street gang referred to as the Pepper Hill Gang, which has become TCG in recent years. Anyways, around 1996, a younger offshoot gang would start to appear. This gang was referred to as Young Gooch Gang and was known to be a quite feared gang in the area, with them gaining a reputation as shootings and stabbings would be linked to the gang. Around 2005, many different offshoot gangs would start to pop up under the Young Gooch Gang name. This included the Old Trafford Crips, Longsight Street Soldiers, Rusholme Crip Gang, Fallowfield Mad Dogs, and the...
You messing with these gang names?
Yeah, he is a little crazy.
Yeah, you ain't getting jiggy with them.
Old Trafford Crips.
Yeah, Old Trafford Crips, Longsight Street Soldiers.
First, they got Crips out there.
Yeah, they got Crips everywhere, bro. It's gonna be Crips and Bloods all over the world, gang. Like, I feel like everybody just if they don't know what gang to make in their own country, bro, they're just gonna say Bloods and Crips. Real deal, bro. That's what, bro. Even America do that, bro. If they don't come up with their own stuff, what they gonna do? There's we Bloods and Crips on gang.
Bloods and Crips in Chicago.
Why Blood? Cause we made our own stuff, bro.
No, bro.
I heard a nigga say he was a Blood from
Bro, he's from wherever out there, bro. It ain't no Bloods or Crips in Chicago.
The Take Dat Risk Gang, which we know as TDR today. These gangs fall under an alliance known as Gooch Crips, which include the Rusholme Crips, or nicknamed RCG. So for simplicity's sake, I'll be including RCG and TDR in this video, as they share a lot of the same beef and are allied. Popular members from TDR include MB, Soulja Souls, and Abs. Now similarly to the Crip Alliance, around the mid-1990s there would also be a Blood Alliance formed. This included many different street gangs that repped the color red, and made all of their beef focused towards the Crip gangs within the area. So much so that so many shootings and stabbings would occur between the gangs. Residents living in each area would actually leave the area, moving to safer places within Manchester. Around the 2000s, the Blood Alliance would consist of the Moss Side Bloods, TCG, Doddington, and Hume. However, in recent years, inside beef would start to occur within the alliance, most likely due to either money or drugs. Nowadays, the current generation of these gangs consists of AO, or Active Only, and TCG, or Top Crash Gang, with a lot of their old beef still continuing today. Prominent members of TCG include SK, Jenna, and Tal Greasy. Both TDR and TCG have had a...
Tal Greasy, bro? Like, y'all, like, bro, like, how do y'all really, like, what do Tal Greasy even mean, bro?
Tal Greasy?
His name is Tal Greasy. Like, that's like, I ain't gonna back to you. I think greasy might be another word for slimy. I don't know. A slick individual.
rivalry since the mid-1990s. The beef would begin when TCG members would start selling drugs on TDR territory. Both of these gangs were known by different names at the time. However, for simplicity's sake, I'll refer to them as TDR and TCG. Anyways, due to the two gangs starting to associate themselves with colors, it started to look like a Crip versus Bloods gang. War was playing out in front of our eyes. Stabbings, shootings, and murders would be very common between the gangs. In recent years, the beef would prove to be insanely deadly. On the 30th of December 2015, a man would be shot in the chest while standing on Salisbury Street within TCG territory. It's largely speculated the people behind this brazen attack were either TDR members or RCG members, which are allied under the Crip gangs. Anyways, the beef would explode around this time, and on the 22nd of March 2016, a young man often referred to as Muds would be fatally stabbed in Moss Side. Police and emergency services would arrive on the scene. However, Muds would sadly be pronounced dead on the scene. The killers would flee with a murder investigation being launched. During the investigation, all of the members involved would be arrested and sentenced.
Short bus crew.
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna bap to you. I ain't gonna bap to you. First of all, let me put my glasses on. I think they too old to be doing this type of behavior, bro. Real deal, bro. I know for a fact Uncle supposed to be starting a family for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he most definitely supposed to be starting a family. These two, they might be around our age, but I think these two most definitely need to cool out and start a family. They probably got a family.
For the murder, with the killer Abdurrashid Booz being sentenced to life with a minimum of 23 years. He would even point gun fingers at the family of Muds, and would even smirk at them. Manchester Evening News would go on to report this.
Give them more time, bro. I feel like, bro, if someone getting sentenced and they still decide to, like, act tough and show out while getting sentenced to all this time, obviously they need more time, bro. Cause I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. I'm gonna be acting like the best individual, bro. Cause I'm not trying to be in there no longer.
With them starting to report on the ongoing Rusholme Crips and Moss Side Bloods war within Manchester. Only 2 months later, on the 12th of May 2016, a member of the Rusholme Crips, or RCG, named Abdul Hafidah, would be walking on Moss Side territory, home to the AO gang allied with TCG. A gang of AO members would spot Abdul and would drive into him with their Vauxhall Corsa. The members within the car would jump out of the car and stab him multiple times in the neck and abdomen. Police and emergency services would arrive following.
That's what happens if you think it's sweet out there, bro. You'll get ran over, then get sad.
Yeah.
So keep on thinking it's sweet, bro. I remember you said, bro, if someone tweak with you in the UK, you gonna get to tweaking. But I'm just showing you what's gonna happen.
The incident. Ambulances would try their best to save Abdul. However, despite their best attempts, he would sadly be pronounced dead on the scene with a murder investigation being launched. All 11 of the men involved in the incident would be arrested and would be handed life sentences. Rest in peace, Abdul. Shootings and stabbings would continue following this, with the crime rate within Manchester rising. It would peak around 2017 and 18, with there being 122.6 crimes per 1,000 people, compared to the previous years being 105 crimes in 2016 and 81 crimes in 2015. Around the end of 2016 and start of 2017, a gang based around the Gartside estate within Ardwick on the M12 and M13 postcodes would start to make noise in the streets. The gang based here would be referred to as 7M. With them being affiliated with nearby Longsight, they have beef with the Moss Side Bloods, which includes TCG. The 7M gang would start to drop songs around the start of 2017, with them dropping songs like Breaking Bad and RNO. However, 6 days after the release of Breaking Bad, the 7M gang would find themselves in the news. On the 8th of August 2017, 8 members of 7M would be hanging out outside of a chippy near the Manchester. August 2017, 8 members of 7...
Folks was crying, gang. Y'all gotta tell me folks wasn't crying? Or he just naturally looked like he was crying?
It looked like he was crying.
I think his ass just fall, but
So y'all think he was crying or he just looked like this?
he just look like that.
He looked sad.
It looked like he sad, bro.
His ass. Trying to see how much. Damn, that other nigga's nose is big as his.
7M would be hanging out outside of a...
Boy, look at that other dude, no.
Bro, look at all them, gang, bro.
Why they got his face so close? You know, other one for you.
I ain't gonna back to you. Yeah, I wouldn't trust any of these individuals if I seen them on the street, bro.
Not at all.
I ain't gonna back
Yeah,
to
he
you.
fried though.
Ooh.
You see Buddy right there.
Yeah, folks, he just cooked, bro. I ain't gonna back to you.
a chippy near the Manchester Apollo when they would get a phone call from a drug dealer tipping them off about the whereabouts of a rival. Around this time, a member of an alleged opposition gang named Sate would get off a bus coming from Manchester city centre. As he was getting off the bus, he would be alerted of the presence of opposition members nearby. A stolen Fiat 500 would approach, this containing the 7M members. The members would drive into Sate and his friends. Sate and his friends, who were allegedly TCG members, would flee towards Moss Side's Millennium Park. The 7M members would catch up and a massive fight would ensue, with the 7M members shouting, "Dip him." This attack would result in Sate and his 3 other friends being stabbed. However, Sate's wounds would prove to be deadly, with police and emergency services being called to the scene. Paramedics would try their best to assist Sate, however the wound was critical, and despite their best attempts at saving Sate, he would sadly be pronounced dead moments later. With a murder investigation being launched following this, police would find and connect all 8 members of the 7M gang to the crime. And in 2018, all 8 of the members would be handed a life sentence. Rest in peace, Sate. Now, Sate is often dissed in recent TDR songs by members like MB, who are often heard disrespecting him and talking about the incident within songs.
Dead ones dropped from the hunting seat and the rye got more than splees. Last year it was convoys.
Following the death of Sate, stabbings and shootings would continue to play out between the gangs, with the crime rate slowly rising. Around August 2018, a mass shooting would be reported within Moss Side, with residents claiming shots were fired around 2 a.m. at a street party. 12 people would be injured, with 9 of those people being hit by the bullets. However, luckily no one would die. 2 men would be arrested following.
See, they be hitting all types of people, bro. Like, that's why I be like, bro, that's why I don't even want to go out, because these people just be hitting any and everybody. And lots of these dudes, bro, that be having beef with people, they don't get no aim, bro. They gonna hit everybody but they target. If they hit their target, 9 times out of 10, they hit something that they wasn't supposed to hit too, bro.
this incident, with them being charged for possession of a firearm and attempted murder. However, I couldn't find if these people were sentenced. Whilst it's unknown if this was a random attack or a shootout, what is known is that this war was becoming a danger to the public, with innocent civilians being impacted. 2019 and 2020 would be dangerous years in the beef, with stabbings and shootings being a regular occurrence. This then resulted in the crime rate soaring, with over 88,000 reported crimes to do with violence against other people. 2020 would prove to be a dangerous year within the rivalry, with another mass shooting being reported in Moss Side. On the 21st of June 2020, a street party was being held within Moss Side. At around 12 a.m., a male would arrive at the street party with a gun and would open fire, shooting at two males standing in a car park. Both males would be hit and would be in fatal condition. They would be rushed to hospital. However, they would both die moments later, with one of these members being a TCG member named Cherry. Police and detectives would launch a murder investigation following this, with them arresting a woman from Birmingham. However, she would be released. Police would later arrest a 25-year-old man. However, he was also released. Until this day, police are still searching for the killer. Rest in peace. Following this incident, the beef between TDR and TCG would escalate further, and it would be around a month later that the next person would be killed due to the beef. On the 26th of July, 2020, an RCG member named Mo would be playing football with friends in Moss Side. What he didn't know was that TCG members would be looking to kill. The group would be seen walking from Cransick Street towards Henbury Street. They would spot Mo, who was playing football with his friends. The group would begin to chase Mo. Mo would be cornered by the group and would try to flee. However, the members would catch up and stab Mo in the heart. The killers would flee, leaving Mo to die. They were seen running back down Henbury Street on CCTV following the incident. Police and emergency services would be called to the scene following the stabbing. However, sadly, Mo would be pronounced dead moments later, with a murder investigation being launched following this. All four of the members would be arrested and charged for the murder, and in 2021, all of the members would get life sentences with a combined sentence of 54 years. 3 of the members got 15, 14, and 12 years, and the other member got 13 years and 6 months after pleading guilty to possession of a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence. In court, videos from one of the defendants' phones would show images of dead opposition members, including Mo, mixed in with weed. Another video would show the killer rapping and talking about the killing of Mo. Rest in peace, Mo. Following the death of Mo, deadly attacks would continue to play out between the gangs, and in October 2020, 4 boys of the TDR gang would be stabbed by TCG members in one day. This included 2 boys aged 16 and 15 who suffered critical wounds after being stabbed, with the 15-year-old being stabbed in the chest by the TCG members. This is often referenced in new TCG tracks with lyrics like,
Been in a grave, man can have a chat on my TCGs. We flew out the ride and got 4 in a day, and Mills must have prayed to the Lord.
Anyways, 2020 would end with 2021 beginning, and the war continuing. In 2021, both TCG and TDR would begin to make music, with a lot of their songs being leaked. The music videos released officially by the gangs would be taken off YouTube due to how rude they were. Prominent members of TDR around this time would be MZ and MB, and in the TCG gang, prominent...
I still don't really understand why they take down the music, because it's like, bro, they're gonna hear diabolical music regardless, bro. So it's like, them just taking it down, I feel like that's probably gonna make them crash out even more, because it's like, now they ain't getting money for this stuff, and when people don't get no money, guess what? They more likely to crash out, bro. If you let them get paid for this diabolical stuff, it'll probably be less diabolical stuff going on if you think about it.
Members included LK, Jenna, and SK. However, it would be around June 2021 that the beef would get heated again. On the 29th of June 2021, a young member of TDR named MZ would allegedly get the drop on a TCG member's house. This TCG member was named LK. MZ would arrive at LK's home and begin shooting into the house, which was empty with no one being there at the time. Anyways, MZ would flee following this, with police being called after reports of a gun being fired. An investigation would be launched with police actively searching for the shooter. However, before police could arrest anyone, MZ would sadly become victim to the streets. On the 9th of September 2021, MZ and his friends would be traveling in a blue BMW when TCG members would spot the group within the car. The TCG members would use a stolen car and would begin to chase MZ and his friends in the car. The chase would last a while. However, it would end when the car that held the TDR members would crash. MZ and his friends would hop out of the car and start running. The TCG members would jump out of their car and start chasing MZ and his friends. This was caught on CCTV, and when one of the TCG members named Marquise Richards, would start to get tired, he would pass the knife to another member named Ryan Cashin, who would continue to take chase. MZ would start knocking on people's doors asking for any help. However, no one would answer. So MZ then lay on the floor in order to hide from the attackers. However, the TCG member Ryan Cashin would catch up and shout, "Got you," before stabbing MZ multiple times. The TCG members would flee, with police and emergency services being called to the scene following the incident. When ambulances would arrive, they would attempt to perform open heart surgery in the street. However, despite their best attempts, MZ would sadly be pronounced dead on the scene, with a murder investigation being launched following this. All three of the members would be arrested following the incident, with all of the members being handed life sentences. Even though two of the members didn't actually kill MZ, the judge argued that they had the intent on killing MZ. Following the sentencing of the teens, Marquis Richards would look at MZ's mum and shout, "Your son got smoked," towards the grieving mother. Rest in peace, MZ. Following the death of MZ, a teenager would be shot in the chest, and another shooting would occur around Moss Side, with news channels starting to refer to Moss Side as GTA due to the amount of violence happening around this area. After the death of MZ, a TDR member named MB would begin to rap. A song would be leaked around this time titled "Rest in Peace, MZ," which was a tribute song to MZ.
We started off as two hood brothers. Hand on my heart, the Lord knows what's up. See me half out the ride with his two-pot bullet. RP MZ, he knows that I love him. Without you, yeah, Phil.
It's clear MZ had a huge impact on TDR, with him being remembered by a lot of TDR. 2022 would begin with a lot of TCG's and TDR's music being leaked. This included a song titled "Exposing Ops" from MB, which was a seriously cold song, and a lot of the comments would be quick to point out the fact that MB was flowing seriously and was riding the beat. TCG would have a song titled "Die Young" by LK and other TCG members. Fans would start to point out the fact that LK had a seriously deep and cold voice for UK drill. Anyways, it wouldn't be long until the next person involved in the beat would sadly be killed. On the 20th of April 2022, a member of ATM named Neri would be with his nephew. They would spot 7M members and would begin to chase them armed with knives. However, the 7M members would run into a shop and wait inside. After Neri and his nephew would leave, the 7M members would exit the shop and get into a nearby car. Whilst driving, they would spot Neri, resulting in a car chase. The 7M members would end up approaching Neri's window. A fight would then ensue between the two groups. This sadly would end with Neri being stabbed multiple times. The members would flee following this, with police and ambulances being called to the scene. However, despite their best attempts at saving Neri, he would sadly be pronounced dead moments later, with yet again another murder investigation being launched. Following the murder, both 7M members would be arrested. This included a 7M member named RB and Mishai. Both of the members would be given life sentences. However, RB would be given 24 years for murder, and Mishai was given 14 years for manslaughter. Following the death of Neri, TDR members like MB would begin to mock the incident loads on songs due to 7M and TDR being close, and the 7M members involved would also be pictured at MZ's funeral a year prior. During 2022, TDR member MB would begin to gain a lot of attention after dropping hard songs that contained seriously rude bars. He would gain a lot of attention with songs like Drilling Room and New Ops, which both have over 100,000 views. Now, the beef is continued within the streets. However, a lot of the incidents would be kept out of the public eye, with a lot of the stabbings and shootings around this time being unsolved and not documented. However, only 2 weeks ago, another person would fall victim to the war. On the 4th of April 2024, a young member of TCG named P-Money would be walking within Moss Side when he would be approached by opposition members believed to be TDR members. However, this hasn't been confirmed. The members would have an altercation. However, it would sadly result in P-Money being stabbed multiple times. The opposition members would flee following the incident, with P-Money being left to bleed out. Police and paramedics would arrive on the scene shortly after. However, sadly, P-Money would be pronounced dead moments later. A murder investigation would be launched recently, seeing the arrests of 3 boys. However, their identities have not been released and probably won't until we see a full trial take place. At this point in time, it's hard to say if this incident was related and who the attackers were. Rest in peace, P-Money. Now, if you have learned anything from this video, make sure it's that the road life isn't worth it and rarely leads to any success, mostly leading to either jail or death. Rest in peace, everyone, in this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Now, London is often pictured as a rich city, with it being the capital of England, meaning a lot of UK's tourism is to London, with the city of London even being the third largest in Europe behind Moscow in Russia and Istanbul in Turkey. The population of London was recorded to be around 8.9 million after a census in 2019. However, what a lot of the people living in and around London don't know about is the ongoing deadly war between Tottenham and Wood Green in North London. The gang war in North London has become very deadly in recent years, with stabbings, shootings, and murders being a regular occurrence between two gangs in the local area, these being NPK and Wood Green. Now, before this video starts, however, I would like to share today's paid promo. Beats and Bars are a UK rap and drill platform.
You gotta end it.
Hmm?
You gotta end
I mean, well, I didn't say that, bro.
You said what?
Y'all was saying that, I be like, shit.
Bro, I was just waiting for you. Bro, I was just watching. I just see nigga dad every time somebody catch. I was just thinking like, is this shit worth it? Like, why is they?
They was doing a lot of shit.
Bro, I was like, alright.
It's just like nigga dad. The nigga dad. They catch him, stab him. Then they catch him, stab him. The other side catch him, stab them, and stab.
Passing the knife,
Stab. Oh, bro, it's just like, bro, what's they beefing up? What's this, bro?
I believe they was beefing over the daily divide.
Was it worth it? Is any of this worth it?
You gotta ask Coinface.
That's crazy. Who's Coinface? Like, he did this?
About, no, I don't know what Coinface is about. I ain't gonna back to you, bro. I ain't gonna back to you, bro. That's crazy, bro. I wasn't sleeping. I was waiting for them to see if they was gonna realize what was going on.
Bro, you snoring, bro. I thought it was the dog. Bro, Fat was snoring.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I was testing y'all to see if y'all was built for the streaming life. see if y'all niggas was
Bro, I
prepared.
don't even know the chat seeing your ass sleep, bro. I was just watching.
Bitch, y'all was prepared. You feel me? I was making sure y'all was prepared, bro. We don't condone nothing in this educational, informational documentary. And if you watch this all the way through, I know you messing with another educational, informational documentary. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, what? Turn on post notifications so you can never miss
both of y'all niggas.
content.